Well, great to meet you. And I have to tell you, I have read every single one of your books. So I always look forward to when I find out there's going to be a movie made. And I have to ask you right off the bat, when you are writing now,
Yeah.
do you have in the back of your mind, like, who would play this in the movie?
Not while I'm writing, not while. And that's for the most part. I mean, sometimes you know who's going to be playing. I did a movie with the last song. I knew Miley was going to be in it. So that obviously was in my mind. With this one, no, I had no idea. But after you're done, you sit back, you say, now let's think about this. Who might be good in this, and what are we looking for? What kind of person, you know? And at the very least, what that does is it lets the other producers and the studios know, hey, this is kind of how I see it, whether or not they go with it.
Yeah. What inspires you, Nicholas? Let's start with the lucky one
Yeah.
because this one is a little different from some of your other books that you've written, and some of the characters are a little bit different.
Of course, you try to do that. You don't want to see the same thing. We've already seen that one. Let's see it done in a new way, right? That's what you try to do. The inspiration behind the story is really twofold. It was I live in a very military area, and so so my neighbors, people go to church, they shop with you. You know, they've been deployed and they come back. They get deployed again, they come back, and you can literally see the changes. And so I wanted to really capture that because it's just part and parcel of living where I live. And my novels are set in this region. If you don't write about it, you're not being truthful. So, okay, you have that element. So how do you do that? Well, you know, I got a picture stuck in my head of this soldier or this Marine finding a photograph half buried in the sand. And he goes over and he finds it, and it's this woman. And I say, okay, why? What is this going to mean? And then from there, little by little, I just sort of spun the story out. Well, what if he regards it as a lucky charm? Well, then why would it be a lucky charm? What has happened to him? And how did this all evolve? And well, how is he going to find her? And you move it all the way down.
And wasn't your dog an inspiration too?
My dog Rex. I'm German Shepherd, so Rex is Zeus. I mean, he is. I mean, he sat there at my feet while I wrote the book. I'd say, Rex, what do you think about this? Is I doing this right? And he'd, do the German Shepherd head tilt, right? Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Do you think, Logan is such a tenacious, strong character. He is an inspiration, really. Do you think that you could be as tenacious as he is?
Oh, I would like to hope I could. You're right. That's what you're trying to do, is you're trying to create characters that are both flawed and real and human, which all humans are flawed. But in the end, they do have a sense of nobility and honor and integrity. And nobody's perfect, and we all make mistakes. And yet, that doesn't mean that from that point on, you can't recommit yourself to doing these things. And I think that's what I'm trying to create with him, because that's a good thing. Taylor played a female character, Beth, who's exactly the same way.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you about that, because you also do write about, you have strong women characters. Who are the women that influence you in your life to write about these strong women and know them so well?
My wife. Do you want to know who it is? They're all little different versions of my wife. It's like the Notebook was my wife on Monday, and the lucky one is my wife on Tuesday, right? Because in a way they have a lot of these great, what I find most attractive in women, which is then ends up in the novel, which then ends up getting translated to the script and onto the page, essentially. But what do I like? I like intelligence. I like a sense of humor. I like passion. I like loyalty. I like someone I like strong women. I don't like wimpy women. Have a backbone. So you have her. In this film, she had to give up her dreams, and has a bad relationship with her ex. And you know what her response is? It's not to break down and say, "Well, I'm going to do this." You know what? It's, I have a son. I'm going to do the best I can for my son, because that's the right thing to do. And, that's what my wife would do, to be quite frank.
What's it like for you to sit back and watch your characters come to life, especially being played by somebody like Zac and Taylor? Wow.
Yeah, you just, come on, look at them. Look at them. They're perfect, right? They're fabulous. But they brought such passion and enthusiasm to the role. Zac put in so much work to get ready for this, and it's a thrill. You get to watch them. You're on set. You watch them work. You watch their commitment. That's a lot of fun. And then you see the final product. And I've had a real nice mixture, I guess, of the films where you've had some superstars established, your Paul Newmans and Kevin Costners and Richard Gere's, and you've been able to see some people break out. You know, your Rachel McAdams or Ryan Gosling, for instance.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Okay. Let's talk about The Notebook. We have to go back for a little bit
Sure.
because, as
Sure.
I said to you before,
I've heard of it.
Yeah, that little movie book thing that you wrote, whatever. But seriously, I recall, you know, seeing that movie, and especially for the two of them having been from Toronto.
Sure,
and,
of course.
Ryan from London, and so it was even more special for me to watch it
Right.
and watch the film. But my God, you know, people still talk about that movie as being the movie that moved them most, like, incredible, as your book did. What does that feel, you know, what is that like for you, Nicholas, to hear that and to introduce it to so many new people who, you know, or maybe are just turning into their teens or young, you know, adults now that are reading your stuff?
Feels pretty good. How's that? You know, I mean, it's hard to say. It doesn't feel like it's me, so to speak, even though I know it was. And yet, the nature of my own personality is not to look back. I love The Notebook. I'm proud. I'm thrilled that they did such a good job with it. I love The Lucky One. I mean, I think it's great. You know, here comes the movie. This is terrific. Yeah. What I'm most interested in is the novel I'm currently writing right now, right? Because I'm always kind of looking toward the future. I want to do something better than I've ever done. It's the nature of my personality, you know, and whether I pull it off that's for other people to decide.
So what was the last movie that made you bawl your head off, and it can't be one of yours?
Oh, no, the last movie. You know, it's tough to make me cry in a movie. I think I got a little choked up in Toy Story 3. That started, it was funny because Toy Story 1, it was the first movie that my oldest son, really sat through and didn't move and was really into it and genuinely laughed. Before, you know, it was the first one. That was Toy Story 1. Now Toy Story 3, he's graduating. He's getting ready to leave the house. You know, he's going off to college. Yeah, you get a little lump. You're like, wow, it just makes you remember your own son, I guess, for me.
I was in the exact same situation with you, and I couldn't, and especially that little character's name was Bonnie. Okay, that's it.
There you go. We're done. Right.
I was done. 3 times I've seen that movie. 3 times I cried. I read your latest book, The Best of Me, on my Christmas vacation.
Yeah.
I plowed through that one, and I'm happy, and I don't want to give anything away, that you didn't tie that up in a neat little bow.
Try
not to.
Is that
important?
You know, what I really want to do is to, one of the elements that I think people like, and I could be wrong about this, I think when you pick up a book, you have no idea how I'm going to end this. Because I have given you a happy ending, I've given you tragic endings, I've given you bittersweet endings. And so I try to vary that because I think that's, if you don't know how it's going to end, you're always kind of wondering, like, oh, I feel something coming. Is it going to be that? That's just my own opinion. So I try to vary it as much as possible.
Oh, it's great that you do. So have you kind of cast that one in your head yet? I'd like to see some fresh faces in that book, in that movie.
Yeah, some fresh faces, some new people, perhaps. Yeah. We're working on it. We're I think halfway through the script on that one, and so we're getting closer.
That was a good one.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, thank you so much for all of your books. I'm such a big fan, and I am waiting for that next one, so I hope it's going to be soon.
Yeah, the next novel is working on, and then, of course, another film getting ready to start filming next month.
Oh, you're not busy at all. Okay.
No.
Congratulations. A pleasure to talk to you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Nicholas.